Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Psalms, chapter 36. For the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. Sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of God at all. In their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. They make no attempt to turn from evil. Your unfailing love, O Lord, is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains, your justice like the ocean depths. You care for people and animals alike, O Lord. How precious is your unfailing love, O God. All humanity finds shelter in the shadow of your wings. You feed them from the abundance of your own house, letting them drink from your river of delights. For you are the fountain of life, the light by which we see. Pour out your unfailing love on those who love you. Give justice to those with honest hearts. Don't let the proud trample me or the wicked push me around. Look, those who do evil have fallen. They are thrown down, never to rise again. One thought. Sometimes the Bible is way ahead of its time. A concept that seems to be a more recent invention is this idea of self-awareness. And it is this idea that it really means being able to recognize yourself as you really are. But this I really don't think is that new of a concept, because David describes the wicked here in verses 1 through 4. And one of the things we find out about them is that they lack self-awareness. For example, it says this: sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of God at all. Now, listen to this. In their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. So in other words, those that have given themselves over to sin are blinded. And the wicked are clearly incapable then of seeing how sinful they really are. They have allowed it to infiltrate their heart, and this is exemplified in them having no fear of God at all. Now, fear of God is respect for God's justice and power. God is God, we are not, and so if he wants to take us out of this world, he could do that. He's not just our buddy, or he's not an absentee father, unconcerned. He is great and powerful, and therefore then this respect for God's power and justice leads to reverence in worship of him in holiness and truth. Of course, Jesus is our friend. He says, I no longer call you servants, but friends, and we are adopted into his family. And so there is this loving relationship that we have with the Lord, but we also just need to remember the Lord is the Lord, and we should show reverence and treat him with respect. And so that is what it means to fear God, and the wicked have no fear of God, and because they're blind about their condition, the wicked are blind to the impact of their words. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. And so when you can't see how sinful you really are, then you're only saying these things that will feed your own sin. Out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so you then speak things where you're trying to deceive and manipulate others to get what you want. You tell lies and falsehoods so that you come out looking better. You live your whole life really based on misinformation and divorcing yourself from reality. But in contrast to the wicked, the righteous person fears the Lord, and they make God ultimate recognizing his unfailing love is so great and so vast, his faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. It says his righteousness is like a mighty mountain and his justice is like the ocean depths. That's our God. And the person who loves and trusts that God then begins to take on these character qualities of being loving, being faithful, being righteous. They have this God awareness which shapes their own self-awareness. And so they recognize they're not God. And we reflect on that truth, and it shines light into our own hearts so that we can repent of sin and turn from it and become the kind of people that God desires us to be.